This video will show you how to replace your downstream O2 sensor on this Toyota Corolla. Part of this is mounted to your exhaust. The connector will lead up inside the passenger compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. We're starting under the vehicle at where the O2 sensor connects to the exhaust pipe. Now if you were just following this wiring harness, you're going to find that it does lead into the passenger compartment, which we'll get to. Let's start with the center anchor point here. We'll use a trim tool or even a flat blade screwdriver as a prying device and go ahead and pull this out of place. Now we're heading over towards the sensor itself. At the end of the sensor, you're going to find that it has a metal clip that we're going to be reusing. For this, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it off the wiring, and then we'll slide it out of place. It has an ear. You can just go ahead and press that up. A quick inspection and we'll set that aside. Now typically when you're removing and replacing your O2 sensors, you want to disconnect the electrical connector first. But to help prevent us from getting in and out from underneath the vehicle, let's focus down in this area. We're going to start turning this counterclockwise. Of course, this is the old O2 sensor wiring, so we're really not too worried about damaging it. We'll use an O2 sensor socket. Let's go ahead and turn this counterclockwise, remove it from the exhaust. Now, as I mentioned before, if you were following the O2 sensor wiring harness, you're going to find that it does make its way up into the passenger compartment. We just have a small rubber boot here. For this, go ahead and take hold of it. You should be able to pinch it in and gently pull it down and out of place. Now at the exhaust pipe, we want to make sure we clean the mounting port. I'm just going to use some fine sandpaper. A quick wipe, close inspection. Let's get ready to install that brand new downstream O2 sensor. We're taking that and we're putting it into the port on our exhaust pipe. Just make sure you start it in by hand and we're paying close attention to the wiring harness here. We don't want to twist it and cause any issues. Once you have that bottomed out by hand, torque it to 29 foot-pounds. Continuing on, we have our metal clip. Slide that right onto the O2 sensor. And then of course we'll just make sure we have our wiring harness through this tab. And then that's going to make it so it angles down and we'll connect to our next mounting point. Now of course we do want to make sure that our wiring harness is secured to the body of the vehicle, not hanging down in any way. Now if you have a wire tie retaining clip, you can use that. Otherwise, you can use a basic wire tie. I just fold the very tip of it so I can bring it through one port and then down and out through the other. Now we do want to keep in mind that the exhaust will move around a little bit, so we want to make sure we have just a tiny bit of slack, but once again, not anything that's going to hang down and potentially get caught against anything. Trim off any excess. Now we have our connector, and we also have our rubber grommet. I'm going to start by taking the connector and pressing up on the carpet here. We should be able to put the connector up inside the passenger compartment of the vehicle. We're attempting to push this straight forward and up. Continuing on, we're also going to insert our rubber grommet. We'll be able to push this back down once we're up top. Now we're making our way out from under the vehicle into the passenger compartment. On the driver's side, you're going to find next to the gas pedal, a plastic panel. We need to remove this. For that, it's fairly simple. If you just take hold of it, you should be able to carefully pull it out of place. Just pull it straight out and away. That exposes our electrical connector location. Prior to disconnecting the electrical connector, I like to dislodge my carpeting as well. So I'm just using a trim tool. We can go ahead and remove that push clip. Just fold that carpeting down for a second here. On this electrical connector, you're going to find it has a locking tab. You can either squeeze this in or make your way from the opposite side and gently pry in and then up. That should dislodge it. Now you saw I tried pressing on that. Didn't want to dislodge easily, so I grabbed a small pocket screwdriver. Just going to go underneath this area, slide that out of place. There we are. Now let's take hold of the corner of our carpeting and pull it aside. Now we can see our new electrical connector wiring harness with our rubber protective boot, and we have the other connector wiring harness. The original harness is just going to get pressed down and through the floor. While we're in this area, let's make sure that we re-secure our seal on this area with our brand new harness. That just presses right into position. Now this wiring harness is going to make its way all the way up along the side here. Let's connect in the electrical connector. Line up the locking tabs, press it in, listen for a click. Now after an audible click, the next thing we're going to do is just make sure that we have the slack from our electrical wiring harness up inside the passenger compartment. Once again, we don't want anything hanging down underneath the vehicle. We'll just tuck that wiring up against the side and reinstall our carpeting. Now prior to bringing the carpeting into position, I just want to mention one thing. You should find that you have Velcro patches on the carpeting itself and on the backing where this is going to press up against. It's extremely important to make sure this is properly secured behind your brake and accelerator pedal. Just fold this in. Okay, I'm sticking my Velcro. Let's get this plastic clip in place. Now it's time for our plastic panel. Along the front, we have one tab that's going to slide straight forward. If you were looking along the back side, we have locking tabs that had pulled outward to dislodge, so we'll be driving them in to lock it in. Just going to try to get this aligned with its white adapter in the front there. Press it forward, line it up, lock it in. There it is, friend. Okay, we finished the installation of our brand new Downstream O2 sensor. You can recycle the original. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and take your vehicle for a road test. Make sure you have no check engine light and no running condition. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.